So before we start the session, I want to thank Manoj ji for making my presentation very simple. One thing I have taken from the presentation is keep everything simple. He clearly highlighted कि आप investor के पास जब जाते हैं, definitely hybrid is quite popular, SIPs are coming. But client को सबसे पहले हमें क्या देना चाहिए? सबसे simple product. Thank you Manoj ji for giving that insight. With that, I want to start the passive presentation. So before we deep dive into passive, I just want to know how many of you are in the industry from last 20 years? Just raise your hand. Great. More than 15 years? Perfect. More than 10 years? So almost 50% of audience are there in the industry from last 10 years. So why I asked this question? I joined this industry in 2008. The day I joined, market was 21,000. Within 5 months, it came down to 9,000. तो हमने मार्केट का उतार चढ़ाव तो बहुत देखा है. 50% करेक्ट भी हुई है. Then we have seen market moving up 100%. But हमने म्यूचुअल फंड में भी बहुत उतार चढ़ाव देखे हैं. So when I say म्यूचुअल फंड में उतार चढ़ाव, in 2005-06 we used to sell close-ended म्यूचुअल फंड. तो जो उस टाइम के इंडस्ट्री के पार्टनर्स हैं उन्हें पता है 7% का रेवेन्यू भी आता था. Then one certain day, close-end moved out. But we are still there with open-ended schemes जिसमें हम 2.25% का एंट्री लोड चार्ज करते थे. I don't know how many of you की म्यूचुअल फंड में भी एंट्री लोड होता था. So there is a good upfronting revenue for us to run this business. One fine day, upfronting stays, but charges gone away. So we come down with drastic 80% fall in our revenue. But we're still selling the mutual fund because we changed ourselves. And we're still getting the upfront brokerages. One fine day, again, SEBI realized that we have to change this. Upfront gone. And all 100% of upfront revenue is no more there. We changed ourselves. Because we realized the industry is changing. And one fine day in 2013, we come with a direct mutual fund. And I still remember, because I'm a hardcore sales guy, started as an RM in 2008, worked very closely with all of you, with bankers. So I understand the pain जो हमने cross कराया across the cycles. We survived that. We thrived in that. ये सब हम क्यों कर पाए? Because we changed with the time. Then come lockdown. Physical to digital. We changed ourselves. So the only thing which is constant is change. And that's what I feel. If we keep on changing ourselves with the time, we keep on growing ourselves. And with that, I'll just deep dive into passive. So before we discuss how to sell passive smartly, let us understand why to sell passive. It's no more a niche segment. In this financial year, 1 in 3 rupees is going in passive. It is not 1%. It is almost 30% of net business are now moving to passive business. So passive is growing. So a lot of us, when we started selling SIP, we used to sell 8th wonder compounding hai. What compounding can do to your investor, we all know. I say the 9th wonder is SIP. आज जो हम सब यहाँ पे हैं, we all know how important SIP is for us to do this business. If in SIP, in 5 years, the market share has grown from 6% to 21%, it clearly reflects कि retail investor passive buy कर रहे हैं. खाली वो लमसम buy नहीं कर रहे हैं. They are not doing an SIP. 1 in 5 SIP is now happening in passive. So one thing is clear, that passive is going to stay, and why we should sell passive, because it's growing. Now understand how to sell passive smartly. So when we used to deal with the bankers सबसे पहले client को कासा देता है. We all know what is CASA. When you go and reach out to the client, वो कहता है सर मेरे साथ अकाउंट ओपन करो. Current account, saving account. Current account में 0 interest होता है. Then he go and sell third party product. So why they do CASA? That is an acquisition tool. Use passive as your client acquisition tool. Simple है, सस्ता है, समझाना आसान है. आज के टाइम में निफ्टी 50 बोलना बहुत आसान है. Client retention. So when we say client retention, we have sold multiple AMCs, fund houses, multiple schemes. Lot of time question comes कि सर आपने ये फ्लेक्सी का भी फंड हाउस का लिया होता तो बेटर रहता. We did our research, we did our understanding and sold those kind of products. सबकी साइकिल आती है. The advantage with passive is it is brand neutral. So आपको retention high रहती है. We have seen even in SIP, the retention of SIP in passive is much better than active. So this will help you in better client retention. Third, alpha solution. I will definitely deep dive into it. Alpha है क्या? एक नया term आया smart beta. We'll talk about it. So how to build your portfolio? Build your core portfolio into the most simple products. Nifty 50, Nifty Next 50. Because it is very easy to explain. सारे न्यूज़ चैनल निफ्टी 50 की मूवमेंट दिखाते हैं. सबको पता है निफ्टी 50 क्या है, टॉप 50 कंपनीज. तो स्टार्ट योर पोर्टफोलियो. फर्स्ट SIP should always be into Nifty 50. And I'm sure with the period of last 10-15 years, you are engaging with the clients. Obviously 10 to 15% of your portfolio are building into satellite. When I say satellite is a portfolio which you keep on changing after 3 years. Core portfolio will remain intact for 10, 15, 20 years. Linked to the retirement, linked to the goal. But our 10-15% portfolio definitely should keep in satellite. It will give you more engagement with the clients. So when you build your satellite portfolio, use sector funds or use smart beta products. So why I'm showing Nifty 50? Because we clearly discussed that this is the most simple product in India. India की top 50 company में invest करो. कुछ मत करो. U10 Nifty 50 is the oldest Nifty 50 product in the industry. It is the largest index fund in the industry. AUM of more than 27,000 crore. More than 10 lakh investors are there in this scheme. A simple product have given a more than 15% of CRJ return in 3-year rolling basis. I have highlighted probability क्योंकि आप simple product बेच रहे हो तो client को हमें positive experience देना है. The client who has stayed in this product for 5 years have almost a certain got a positive experience. If you have done a 10,000 SIP in its inception, you invested only 31 lakhs, that amount has grown to 2.4 crore, almost 8 times. So that's a simple product can give to all your clients. I'm sure a lot of you think Nifty 50 is good, but मेरे को next 50 chase करना है जो Nifty 50 बन सकते हैं. What is next 50? 51 to 100. Next coming leaders. Yes, a simple product is available. Nifty Next 50. A product have given 18% of CAGR since its inception in last 25 years, and almost with 100% probability if you stayed in this fund for 5 years. 10,000 SIP have grown to 2.8 crore, 9 times growth in 25 years. So these both are very simple products, but have given you much better experience. We discussed about core. Now we're little deep down into satellite and a tactical sector allocation. Although I'm highlighting a private bank, but if you see on the left, we have seen what happened in last 2 years. Metal, we all know how metal behaved, how PSU bank behaved in last 2 years. We all know in lockdown, pharma did very well, IT did very well. So every sector, sometimes we know the cycle is coming. So those kind of strategical call, tactical call you can take. Currently, if you look into private banking, 3 of the top 10 Nifty 50 companies are private bank. HDFC, ICICI, Axis. 25% of total weight is in private bank. And private bank is currently trading almost 23% discount to its average price to book value. Vis-a-vis Nifty is trading at a fair value of 3.6. So which clearly reflects that a strong sector, a sector which has to grow, is if giving at a discounted price, why not look into these kind of a strategical product as well. On a long run also, private bank have outperformed Nifty by almost 300 basis point. On SIP side also close to 200 basis point. So these are some of the tactical calls which you can take whenever you think of a sector, think of an index. Better to go through index rather than going into an active style. I'll take 2-second pause. You just go through the slide to understand what we're trying to say. Passive और active को हम दूर मानते हैं. Why we say they are apart? Passive is a simple benchmark hugging product. Active क्या करता है? उस benchmark से stock picking करता है. And that is all done by fund managers. What is this factor investing? So this is bridging the gap between two. ये भी एक यूनिवर्स पकड़ता है, उसमें से एक फैक्टर को डिजाइन करता है और आपको स्टॉक्स देता है. But all this done by a model. It can be momentum style, it can be volatility, quality, low vol. But it is bridging the gap between active and passive. The only difference, fund manager call नहीं लेता, model call लेता है. That's why I say smart beta or factor investing. So these are the 4 most popular smart beta available in India. Momentum, low vol, quality, value. So momentum, as what says, chase the winners. Low vol, as what says, stability. अगर आपको stable portfolio चाहिए with lower volatility, look into low vol as a style. Quality, as what says, chase the fundamental strong companies, high growth companies. Value, we all know, chase underdogs, which we have seen happening in the last 4-5 years. So although I've highlighted all 4 factors, are these factors doing better than the benchmark? So if we see, we have used BSE 200 benchmark, well, that is the universe from which these 4 products have came out. All 4 have outperformed BSE 200 with almost 250 basis point to as high as 450 basis point. So momentum is the one which has done pretty well compared to other 3 factors. But in isolation, चारों ने उसको outperform किए, which says yes, all 4 factors make sense depending on which market it comes. If you see low vol and quality, they have given you more stable return. When I say stable, with lesser volatility. So if you want to start a product in smart beta जिसका volatility कम चाहिए, look into low vol and quality. Consistency चाहिए, momentum, और aggressive play करना है तो value. So this slide is something which make you sure कि smart beta में कौन सा product कब बेचना है. Left side में what we have shown, market returns. Whenever market has given you negative return, low vol and quality have outperformed by margin. Whenever market is in the range bound, which is 0 to 10%, low vol and quality again have outperformed. When market start picking up, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, you see momentum is moving up. See. And when 30% above, it's value. So 21, 22, 23, 24, we know what happened in the market. That's why for 4 continuously year, value have performed. So whenever you think market is in aggressive zone, eyes closed, buy value. When you think market is moving into defensive zone, there is a higher probability that low vol and quality will do well. But if you want to chase consistency, then momentum is the product. So all the spoken about smart beta, and why I'm saying smart beta is the next big thing. In 5 years, from 500 crore, today it is touching 38,000 crore of AUM in index only, smart beta index fund. From less than 1% of index market AUM is currently more than 17% of index AUM is in smart beta, which clearly reflects that this category is growing. And we as a UTI holds 30% of entire smart beta index assets. We innovated. We launched multiple styles. You think of it, it's available. We are managing more than 8 styles in smart beta as a category. And that's why this category is helping us to grow. I'm more than happy to explain those products to you whenever you feel like. Now we have discussed passive. Why execute with us? We are managing passive from last 25 years. We are the oldest AMC in launching passives. We have the oldest index fund, which is Nifty 50, largest index fund, Nifty 50. We are managing one of the largest assets in passive, more than 1.6 lakh crores. We are managing the largest index equity fund of more than 40,000 crores in assets. We have a team size of 5 dedicated only to manage passive. So these all things give you a comfort that we are focusing on this as a category. We are working very closely, because the one thing which helps to drive passive is to maintain low tracking error. Our endeavor is to reduce the tracking error. The last point is for you. Passive doesn't mean selling a product at free. Lot of passive products give you a revenue which is as par with some of the largest schemes in the industry. So keep that in mind. These products bring revenue for you. So what are the 4 key takeaways from the presentation? First, passive is here to stay. Second, use passive as an acquisition, not as a competition. Use it for acquisition. Third, start building your portfolio with the index funds. And the fourth, 1 SIP per client in index is something we should do. With this, I end my presentation. Thank you, everyone.